Dean, today is the day of love all around the world, Valentine's Day. And I'm curious for the handsome gentleman on the panel, by the way, thank you guys for being here. If you guys wanted to share... Oh, God. It happened again, Mark. Yeah, Mark, figure out that tech issue, please. If you guys wanted to share what your favorite Valentine's gift you've ever gotten from a significant other, from a friend, anything you want to share, collectible-wise, I'd love to hear it.
Does it have to be clean, family friendly?
It should be. Kind of clean.
Well, never mind. Nothing.
Wow.
Y'all can skip me.
Wow.
Please put it in the private chat.
Oh, it's private, all right.
I can't say Baldo.
All right. Marco, what do you got?
Yeah, so I think the best Valentine's Day gift Gigi ever got me, it was shortly after, I think I was throwing a grown man tantrum. I don't even remember what it was over. And she came through and got me Batman, like original Batman, Valentine's Day cards, like a whole box that I still have. She got me like a stuffed plush. It was like a Raiders teddy bear. And she got me a bunch of other stuff and assorted candy. And so I never anticipated that, a significant other would go all out like that for me for Valentine's Day. So it was pretty awesome to see.
And
now, then I married her. And, this far into marriage, we just write cards to one another. We just kind of put our feelings down on paper. And we didn't even do that this year. So, the day's not over. Maybe I'll run out and go get a card after this. But how about you, Mark?
Fucking dog.
Yeah, we stopped with the card stuff a little while ago. Same with the flowers, because the flowers die. It's a waste of money. When you have kids, you learn, So I got her a couple boxes of chocolates and the bottle of the good wine. The wine that makes things happen,
Wow.
So, and it's nice, and that part's good. But the thing was, when me and Katrina first started dating, the one thing when I knew she was kind of the one, and this was before because I was always a collector, but then I had, you stop and you're trying to find a woman because it's a bad look at that age, the real early 20s. But the first big purchase where I knew she was the one, she bought me the Ewok Village UCS set.
Wow.
Lego. It came with like 20 minifigures. I mean, it's still her favorite set. And I showed her the Rivendell set, and she's like, we got to go day one and go buy it.
Oh, that's true love right there, Mark.
I mean,
what a real one.
And literally like tonight, she was like, "There's a shame there's no really good sets out right now because that would have been a great Valentine's Day." Because we were down doing a puzzle right before this. I mean, I wish we were doing something else, but the kid, you know what I mean?
Jesus.
Mark, I do want to challenge one point that you said, though. You said early 20s, it's a bad look if you don't have a lady. Everyone moves at their own pace.
Well, not saying not having a lady, but bringing a girl to the house and you have like Power of the Force figures like hanging on the wall.
Oh, I see.
You got like Batman bed sheets.
Power of the Force, no. And that's why we're here tonight. Marco made a great point. We kind of, I guess, just it's been such a week. I didn't realize it until John messaged me last night. Like, hey, today, today is Valentine's Day, and we told everyone like, hey, no obligation to be here tonight. Obviously, family's very important. So thank everyone in the chat for being here. Thank you guys for being here. But yeah, I've known many a Valentine's Day alone. So Marco put it so elegantly into words like, hey, like let's be there for the homies.
That's right.
I don't usually get a lot of collectibles for Valentine's Day, but yeah, some great stuff over the years. The Gandalf the White back there, one of my favorite gifts. The premium format Mando, love that statue. Yeah, some really great stuff. Miles Morales premium format. Some great stuff that Victoria's gotten me over the years. We're looking at some other stuff for Valentine's Day this year. It's kind of right around that tax season / like annual bonus season for my wife's company. And so there's things that I'm looking at. I'm looking at Rivendell and I'm looking at the premium format Dark Knight Returns Batman. So we'll see how good I've been this year. But yeah, Dean, Manny, did you guys want to add anything to this conversation? Things that you've gotten? No.
I mean, for me, I don't really get collectibles. But today, my wife did surprise me with a gift card to Sideshow and a little Valentine's card. And on there it said,
sweet.
like, go ahead and put this towards something that you really like. So I thought that was nice little thought. Her contributing to.
What a
You mean for
lovely wife,
Valentine's
man.
Day, right? Because
Yeah, what did I say?
You said I don't really get collectibles.
Oh well, for Valentine. Sorry.
Okay. I was like, because she's messaged me a handful of times trying to get you something. So I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Sorry.
Because
Yeah, she's an
it's weird.
angel.
It's really weird because like you have conversations with people and they're like, oh, I bought, a $300 necklace and she got me, a belt or something.
Sock.
Yeah,
A
it's like
sock.
Just one sock.
it's like what a waste of money.
Not even a pair.
You know?
It's crusty in the corner of the room now.
Yeah.
Oh my.
How dare you? Oh boy.
Are you an angel?
What?
An angel. I heard the deep space pilots talk about them. They're the most beautiful creatures in the universe.
Hello there. We are tonight's entertainment.
We would be honored if you would join us.
He's got a billion toys.
You brought in the doll collection.
These are not dolls, Jim. These are commodities. Same as gold or oil.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
You are now listening to the Collecting Weekly podcast.
Should we lock in the artillery power?
This is the true form of floor gang right here. Very nice. YouTube.com/collectingweekly. Thank you very much. That's very cool. Big.
Hey guys, my name is Zach.
I'm Dean.
I'm Marco.
I'm Manny.
And I'm Mark.
Welcome to this week's episode of Collecting Weekly. It's a weekly podcast where my friends and I talk about the things that matter the most to us this week in collecting.
That's right. We want to say thank you to everyone listening and joining us today on Valentine's Day. Thank you.
Sweet angels. Let's thank those angels. We got Badfish in the chat. We got Toy Mafia. We got Carlito. We got Payton23, Andres IB, João Breda, King Dingling. What a wild day of reissues. Lane the Legend, Kramer, PT Works, Universal Key, Absolute Irwin, Dante's Boneyard. We also have SpongeBob, Squareballs, Carlito, Niculio, Let's Get Nuts, Sam Gist, What's Up My Fellow Collecting Peeps. We also have Hoth's Hometown Heroes, Mr. Mom Collectibles, Gotham Cenobites, John Ortiz, Caesar M, Big Breda, someone call Ox PD to investigate the Hot Toys Batmobile inaccuracies. Irwin says Manny and Mark, Ox Jumbo. We also have Always Sunnyvale, Tyria, John the Everyday Collector. Hopefully John and the missus are having a happy Valentine's Day with their baby. We also have, let's see, Badfish says, Manny on the show, you love to see it. Someone asked a question. I don't know if I've skipped over it yet, but they asked if Manny was Sarge. And I'm not sure if you want to answer that question or not.
You got it right, buddy. That's me.
There you go.
Amazing.
Vintage Rebellion. You'll love to hear it. Joel says the wine that makes things happen. Jesus. Calvin, Commander Crook, Paul Schreiber, Kinky Sphincter, Vintage Rebellion says, hate to hear it. Bob Dylan says, I pre-ordered my wife. Took to standard 2 years to ship. You'll love to hear it. Dante says, my favorite gift was a night vision camera scope for my 300 BLK. We also have 12-inch Moose Stream. Let's see who else we got here. There we go. That's King Ding is Boogie Manny Sarge from Ox PD. Let's see who else do we got in the chat. Dr. Equan, Haas Hometown Heroes with the super chat. Hello, Batman Dave fellas. Yeah, we're going to talk all about Batman. And I think we have so much stuff to talk about with Batman, and we want to get Ben and John's feedback that we're going to re-up this discussion next Tuesday also. David Keaton 2.0 is Glorious, Six Guns, Figs, Jazzy. Yeah, we're going to lead you guys in nice and gently today. We're going to let everyone into the chat, and then we're going to start off with some other figures, some new this week, and then we'll get into Batman to let everyone have a chance to filter in. Dean, we have a very special segment that we start all the best shows off with.
Yeah, you guys ready?
Yes.
It's new this week.
Yeah, what did you get new this week? I got a sweet message the other day from a good friend of the show, Dr. Equan.
Hey.
What a sweetheart. He messaged me. He's like, hey, man, I have this figure. Do you need it? And I did. It's the Bird Shit Boba Fett Black Series version. Apparently it's hard to find. I only have this version of it, but he sent me this one, and it's honestly arguably the best Boba Fett that's ever been done. You can watch a video on the Foosh's channel where he like shows every single Boba Fett that he has. Some of them even custom, and like it's by far the best looking Boba Fett on the shelf. So
what makes it look so good?
I don't know. It's just like the proportions are right. The paint is really good. Like it just looks the best. Like with my eyes. So yeah, super happy to have another one on the shelf that's different. It's even got the cool colored backpack. So shout out to Equan. What a sweetheart. He absolutely did not have to do that, but he thought of me. So thank you, Equan.
What a guy. I do have some new this week's, but I'm curious if Manny, Mark, or Marco have any before I go.
Well, I did pick up me a. I'm just kidding. I did pick up the First Order Stormtrooper, Kylo Ren from The Rise of Skywalker, and the Squad Leader, I think, from Mandalorian, the Stormtroopers. So those are my new additions to the collection. And that's it for me.
That's a good week.
You'll love to hear it. So, I had a pretty good week. Dr. Equan, the gift that keeps on giving. I had mentioned, I want to say he had posted these D&D figures. They're from the 80s animated show. I think Hasbro just started putting these out. But he had posted them, and I was like, yo, can I have it? And I don't know if this set that he sent me is that set that I halved it, but he sent me the set, and it's awesome. It's I think it's almost the entire first wave, minus I think one figure, which I see it everywhere. So I'm, it's funny. I've seen it everywhere when I wasn't trying to pick it up, and now that I am, I can't find it. But yeah, this is such a generous gift. He also gave me some Pokemon cards and a few other things, and it was just an incredible gesture. I didn't even know he was sending anything. He just sent it. So Dr. Equan, thank you very much. It is truly appreciated.
Such a great guy. Is the little Danny DeVito, is that supposed to be Bilbo right there? Or?
That is Dungeon Master, and he is incredible. I actually watched this show a few years back. I need to rewatch it to refamiliarize myself with all the characters, but this show is a banger, absolute banger. And then on the right, so Dean and I, which shout out to Dean, always there for an impromptu stream. I picked up that $50 V1 Gandalf, and so what you're seeing here on the right, from the neck down, is the V1 Gandalf with the vest removed. He has like this gray, I don't know why they did it gray, but it's like this gray vest, and underneath it's this beautiful white fabric, with the first Asmus Gandalf hands, and then the head from the new figure. So they sell that separately as an upgrade accessory kit or whatever for the old one, and it fit on perfectly. I think everything looks great. Did a little bit of water treatment. I still need to kind of futz with that outer robe just a little bit, but overall very happy with the way it looks. And for $50 Gandalf, I think it was a great purchase. And the replacement portrait that Asmus was able to get me, I paid for that, but I think overall I think it's a good look. I may do a tiny bit of weathering to this. Return of the King, he does get a little dirty in the white outfit, but just something to kind of futz with a little bit more, do a little bit more involved posing, and I do like this.
Is he that tan in person, or is it just the picture?
So this is the same portrait basically as the they've basically made excess from the run. I would say it's probably about as tan as a Hot Toys figure. it's hard for the camera to really get the tone right because it's like so white, and it's trying to balance the white and then dim the camera.
Dude, on that stream, you were trying to like show the figure, and it's just
so that
white.
This camera doesn't have
just white everywhere.
Like Manny would probably know this better than I can explain it, but the iPhone camera like actively like tries to balance all the colors so it's not overexposed. But this camera doesn't have it, and when I put that figure up to the screen, it's like you're just staring at like a flash of light. So I would say it's probably about the same color as a normal Hot Toys. And in the movie, he has like this ethereal glow around him. So like the movie representation, I don't think is really accurate to what you would see in hand anyways. But yeah, it's a cool figure. I like it a lot. I would say it's probably could be a touch lighter, but not anything that I'm going to get out the paintbrush and try to repaint it myself. I think it's good enough for the way that I'll display it. And in person, I don't think it's that bad. You can check it out at OxCon 23, baby.
There we go.
Vintage says Zach is talking about dynamic range.
Yo, yes. Zach, when you were showing that figure on the other stream, you had all the flashing lights, and it was so bright, I forgot what I was doing. It was like a Men in Black.
Wow.
Yeah, I forgot.
You got like the little... Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, dude, Neuralizer. I was like, I didn't even know where I was, dude. It was crazy.
Dude, it was bright. I was like, God damn, I feel like this is the Lights of Gondor. Mark, you have your Gandalf the White coming soon, I believe, hopefully.
Yeah, I ordered it. Hopefully it's coming soon. It hasn't shipped yet though, but it said it was in stock, so we'll see. And I also ordered the Bilbo. The one thing I did get in the mail though, thank God, I've been working over my collection after seeing Zach's collection. And Zach 3D printed. This is my childhood toy, and I don't have many of them left.
Look at that.
But this headpiece, it's... If you try to look online, they'll tell you they'll 3D print it for $8, but then the shipping's $40. So I've been working with some Goo Gone, and I've been waxing some of my old, vintage figures. So you know what I mean? It's like it's nice to like pull out some of your old.
Whoa.
Not only is it expensive for the 3D printers like on Etsy or whatever, but it's there you go. So Mark, I did find the horn. I'm not sure if you saw that message I sent you.
Oh yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, check that message I sent you because I want to make sure that's the right Megazord.
But it's
so it's expensive to 3D print, like to buy them, and then to get the original ones, like like the people that have that little piece. Mark, you were saying it's something like $80 plus shipping to get that piece
for the original piece.
For the original piece.
And then all the 3D printed parts, it was like somebody just made up something that fits. It doesn't match. Yeah. And then they say it's $10, and then on Etsy, and then you go to buy it, and then it says $30 shipping plus tax. It's like $45. I'm like, what the? At that point, I just go buy an inbox version, Yeah. And it's crazy. So it's Zach's Wonderland opening soon.
Hey, there you go. Already open. So there was this guy on Colts 3D, which is like a 3D marketplace, and he had a bunch of that Megazord parts already. Like he had the sword and a bunch of other things. And I was like, hey, can you make the file just for that crest? I was like, there's one guy that has like both parts together, but it's a whole piece. Like it's the head and the crest. They're not separate. And the guy's like, yeah, sure. Give me like an hour and I'll make the file. And sure enough, he's like, yeah, I made it. I test printed it. It works perfectly. That right there is like 10 cents worth of material, and it, shipped it to Mark for a few bucks.
So does this guy 3D scan them, or he just kind of measures out?
Well, it's a pretty simple shape. Like, I would imagine he's just like making the file, the design with calipers to make sure everything fits. But yeah, it looks great. And then I hit it with some yellow paint, got it all nice and tidy, and obviously it fixed Mark's figure. So there's that. Let's get into the news. We're going to start slow here. We got Present Toys Blade Warrior, PT55, Wesley Snipes. I want to say this is the Blade 2 look for the character. I got to say, Present Toys is up there as some of the best third-party companies, in my opinion. I think they do great work. I think their Indiana Jones was fantastic. I've said it many times. I think that their Django, Calvin, the K from 2049, I think those are all excellent figures. Their Godfather 2, amazing figure. I have no doubt this is going to crush it. I think the deciding factor for myself and probably a lot of people is the price. We're going to talk about Nathan Drake here in a second, but these third-party figures, they're getting so good, but the prices are starting to creep into that first-party territory, and it's kind of getting pretty crazy. But I'm curious, any of the guys here, if they have Blade, if they want to get a Blade in their collection, if they enjoy the film enough that they're going to think about it.
I don't really have a love for the character. Like, I don't hate Blade or anything. I don't know. It's just not kind of my cup of tea. I also just really don't like vampires all that much. I think they're so fucking boring.
I've been playing D&D for 2 years. I'm ready to kill this motherfucker and move on.
They're always just like nightclubs and like high society. I don't know. They just annoy the shit out of me. So at least he's killing vampires, right? Good for him. But I also don't think this really looks like Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, that's my biggest issue too.
Looks like
Dean,
David
the
Robinson.
Sculpt. Yeah,
It really does, dude.
the flat top.
Yeah, there you go.
It really does look like David Robinson. I mean, that being said, I know a lot of people really like Blade and want a Blade and don't want to spend the gobs of money it costs to buy the original Hot Toys one that's probably flaking in the box. So, I mean, this is cool objectively, just not for me.
Yeah, really cool that they're going back to touch this property. If you're a big fan of these Blade films, then obviously this is something that would intrigue you. Knowing that, you know, Blade is probably still coming, right? Mahershala Ali is going to step in for the MCU version. I think I probably would wait for that representation, just if I really, really wanted a Blade. This is intriguing, but again, I don't like the sculpt enough. I would have to see more, but it just isn't one of those figures that's like done well enough that would push me to like, okay, I need this version. And if the sculpt was like spot on and we had multiple expressions, then maybe it would, but I think it looks nice, but nothing too spectacular. How about you, Mark?
Yeah, it looks more like a white man can't jump type Wesley Snipes, like a really young version. So
yeah,
I don't know what to do. No, but the thing is, like, talking about the third party thing is, like, they have gotten really good, but they've gotten like Hot Toy priced. So whether, you know, I actually, this would be the Blade for me as opposed to the new one, but I don't think I could pay regular prices.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, ever since you said David Robinson, I can't unsee it, dude.
Oh, I can't. It just popped into my head. I can't unsee it.
Yeah, I think it looks okay. I have high hopes for Present Toys because I have both T800s on pre-order, the Battle Damage and the regular one. Nice. And the reason why I have that is because they announced the first one like first, and then way later they announced the Battle Damage. So now I'm kind of like, maybe I'll sell it. I don't know, but I'm pretty excited for Present Toys.
Hell yeah! Now this is. Oh, go ahead, dude.
I was gonna say I'm with Zach. Present Toys is usually pretty fucking. They make bangers. They make really good shit. So I wouldn't be surprised if this comes out better than what we're seeing. I would have no problem getting the Terminators. I bet they're going to be fucking sweet. So, yeah, I was just going to say I agree with Zach.
Thank you, my friend. Now, this is so incredibly well done. But again, at what cost do you start to think like, well, I mean, this is encroaching licensed figure territory. Nathan Drake by Lim Toys, 238 releasing Q4 23. Going back quickly though, the Blade. This is the only photo we have, and there's no pricing information yet, but we'll keep you guys updated on that. Nathan again by Lim Toys from Unexplored 4. Excuse me, A Thief's End. This figure looks incredible. I've seen people play the game, you know, on Let's Plays or Twitch or whatever. I've never played the game myself. The portrait looks great. The body looks great. The subtle application of sweat, I think, looks really good. Yeah, this is spot on. This is one of those figures that you're going to want to pose and pose a lot. And it looks like it should be able to do all that from the pre-order photos. Tons of accessories, a great little diorama base. You do get some seamless forearms, which I think is great. I want to say there's 3 for the right and maybe 1 for the left. But yeah, this is looking really solid. And I've shown this to a few of my friends that don't necessarily collect figures, but they've they've enjoyed the Uncharted games, and they've asked to be like kept in the loop on this. So I think Limb Toys, they obviously killed it with their Arthur Morgan figure. I think they're killing it with this. I think if you're after a video game collectible, I think Limb Toys is on the top of that short list of great third-party companies.
Dean, if you fucking say that Uncharted sucks, I'm done with you.
I actually really don't like Uncharted. I will say,
of course you don't.
I like Nathan Drake as a character. I think he's fun. He's snarky. I like his attitude. I also really love his voice actor. But the Uncharted games for me okay, anyway, I'm not going to get into it. This is cool. I like Nathan Drake, and I think this is one of those franchises where if you play games, chances are you're going to want to have this on the shelf. So I think this is a solid release. Limb Toys makes some, again, another third-party figure company makes bangers. Comes with 2 separate head sculpts, interchangeable arms. If you wanted seamless wrists, that's fucking crazy. This is sweet. I like it.
Yeah, when we heard that Limb Toys was going to be doing this one, right, when they had the teaser up, we know they're doing Last of Us figures as well. I was like on the record saying that I want more video game representation. This is exactly what I mean, like done incredibly well. It looks like it's pulled right out of the game, right from Unexplored 4, which was one of my favorites. Absolutely love that. But then I saw the price and I was like, holy shit, like this is crazy. It's what, $235?
Yeah, $238.
$238, yeah. So I was like, oh my gosh, that's not what I was expecting to spend. That being said, it's got the Dio base, it's got all the accessories, it's got the innovation with the seamless arms and the sweat technology. So I feel like they're giving me everything that I would want out of a licensed figure. We know their track record is, from what you've listed is pretty stellar. I know that, talking to Joao earlier, he's like, this is probably going to come out in 3 years, right? That's a reputation, excuse me. So I don't love that. But in the meantime, I'll be patient. And this is exactly what I want. Hopefully the Last of Us figures look just as good as this, even if they're from the second game, which I did enjoy. So yeah, this is giving me absolutely everything that I want. I wish it was $180, but I'm still in at this price.
Yeah, I think we're all just or somebody like me. I'm just used to third-party figures being much cheaper. But I mean, the quality has picked up.
Mark, bring your game dial the other direction. I think you went low. go clockwise.
Clockwise. Can you hear me now? Is it good?
Yeah, there we go. Perfect.
Okay, yeah, I'm really sorry. Yeah, no, I would really love to, like a Laura Croft from the newer game. You know what I mean? Like,
you're
just
spot
keep
on.
bringing.
That's what I've been saying, dude.
Keep bringing these. I really appreciate this figure. I'm like Dean. Uncharted. There's a couple things. It just seems repetitive. You know what I mean? Like a couple of the Assassin's Creed games are the same way. You know what I mean? But I love what they're doing. I love the sweat feature. I love the accessories. I mean, I actually think the dollar value, if you're an Uncharted fan, I'm just not. So I don't to that level. So I don't feel like I could pay $230. But if you were to give me like a proper Lara Croft or like certain Resident Evil characters, I would pay the $230. So I mean, I love what they're doing as a company. I just need them to hit my specific needs per se.
And you were saying Resident Evil. This actually looks better than the Damn Toys Resident Evil figures, which are obviously licensed and pretty expensive too. But,
about like another $100 more.
Yeah, that's what I said. So I need them to hit some of them up.
Yeah, I would love that as well.
This has got to be the worst Tom Holland sculpt I've ever seen. I'm just kidding.
So glad.
I'm just kidding.
I'm so glad.
That was good.
No, I think it looks cool.
Good,
I've never played this game, but I think it looks cool. A few months ago, I was at a Comic-Con. We were waiting for the Scream panel, and the voice actor of this game came up, and I was sitting like right in front of him. And he was just talking. It was pretty cool. So, I mean, I dig this.
I really enjoy also the weathering on it. Obviously, he's, doing Uncharted things in Uncharted places. And, like, when you look at this figure compared to, like, the Tusken Raider that we unboxed yesterday, like the Tusken Raider is like fresh out of laundry day, and this dude is like grimy and gross, and like you have that wear where it would be like in the area of the pants, like on the knees, where he's crawling and doing all this other kind of shit. So I think this is great. And
oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna make if you really like Uncharted or Nathan Drake, on YouTube you could find Nathan Fillion did a like a short film where he plays Nathan Drake, and it's brilliant because like Nathan Fillion is like Nathan Drake. It's like they almost made Nathan Drake like after Nathan Fillion. So to see him like the character enough to do a fan film, it's brilliantly done. It's so good.
Wow, I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah.
And I will say, to Manny's point, obviously it was in jest, but I'm glad that they went with the more traditional look for the character rather than, the live action look. So,
we've gotten an official Nathan Drake before, haven't we? Wasn't it from the second Uncharted game?
I think that was also third party.
I could have sworn that was like 3-0 or something.
You're right, though, Dean. Yeah, there was one that I remember seeing on Sideshow. Let me see if I can pull that info up.
Yeah, check the archive. Let's get into the meat and potatoes, what all the people of the world are here for tonight. Hot Toys announced last night / this morning. Batman 1989, 2 versions. You got the standard for $279, the deluxe for $345. Both of these releasing April to September 2024. Oh wow!
For Uncharted 3,
I gotta say, now we knew this was coming, right? We talked about this a few months ago. They showed off this figure. I want to say it was at SDCC, if I'm not mistaken. We saw it on display with the Mac computer. We saw it on display with this diorama base. We had a lot of critique on it back then. We're gonna have a lot of critique on it next Tuesday when John and Ben are back. But looking at it, as someone that's not the biggest 89 Batman fan, there's nothing against the film. I just wasn't the Batman that I grew up with. This looks fantastic. I think the Hot Toys paintwork here is excellent. I like the way that the cow looks. Obviously, they said they've refined it. Curious to see if it is going to come with those, or not come rather, but if they are going to release the Bat computer stuff. They've technically shown it, but they haven't actually solicited it yet, so it's going to be interesting to see if that does come out. As mentioned, there is a deluxe version. The deluxe edition is the diorama style base, and for me, I think the deluxe version is cool, but I don't know that I necessarily need this in the collection for me to display it. And looking at the base, it almost doesn't seem like there's a ton of space for the character to be on that base as well. But I do like this a lot. Again, $279's kind of at that $280 price point that a lot of these figures are coming out at. $345 with the base. It's a nice looking base. Don't get me wrong, but again, I don't particularly see the need for it. But I know Manny owns this figure, so we're gonna lean a lot on him tonight for some thoughts on how this compares to the one that he owns, which is the DX08. But Dean, what do we think about this?
Yeah, go back to, you had a picture of him standing in front of like some monitors. That one. If that was the deluxe base, I think it'd be brilliant.
100%.
The base that you get, for those listening, it's like a stone wall with like a gargoyle on it, and like Zach said, there's no like real obvious place where he could stand. I guess maybe in front of these wood beams.
There are some images of him like hiding behind the base.
Yeah,
basically.
But in the promo photos, they show him in front of all these like computer monitors, like he's in a bat cave. And I feel like that'd be super easy to do with some, static images and some LEDs, and that would be a much cooler display in a DTOF, I think. But for what you get, I'm kind of with Zach. I'm not huge on this Batman, so like I don't know the intricacies of it to say whether it's good or bad. But I'm liking what I'm seeing, and I know a lot of people really want this Batman in their collection. I've seen overwhelmingly positive responses to this coming out.
Yeah.
So I think it's cool to see. It's different enough from the first one, I feel like. But yeah, those are my thoughts.
It's also impeccable timing by Hot Toys, right? We got the Flash trailer for the Super Bowl, and just a day or so later, we see this announcment.
That's so unlike them too.
I know, right? Yeah, usually it'll be like 3 years later we'll see okay, there you go. But Marco, what do we think about this?
Yeah, so I think your show is definitely going to be canceled, as I'm the third person to say, like, the 89 Batman is not necessarily my favorite, but I just love the design. Like, obviously we're going to talk about the Batmobile as well, but just the Art Deco design, obviously Tim Burton. I do love the base, in fact, because Gotham City is like such a big part or such a big character of the films. And this just like screams that Burton trilogy, right? So in that respect, Burton trilogy. There were only 2 Burton films, right? But in that respect, I do like the deluxe base, but I don't like that they don't give you the standard base as well, because that one just looks really nice and clean. I just got those Batman Forever figures, and I like that it's kind of shiny and it's got the big logo on it. So I'm a bit bummed after I kind of realized after putting an order for the deluxe that I wouldn't be getting both, but that's kind of on me to not read the fine print as we learned to do. But yeah, I think that all the refinements from what we're seeing from the prototype images look really great. I like the cape, knowing the limitations of the figure in terms of posing. I think it's still fine with me because it just looks so great standing straight up and down. You could pose it next to the Batmobile is what I plan to do. So very, very happy that they're giving newer collectors like myself an opportunity to get an improved version of this figure. Obviously, they're giving some new bells and whistles. It doesn't feel like a complete 2.0, right? Because it's more of a straight reissue in many respects, but at least we're seeing some iteration from the paint applications to some of the materials. So I'm very happy, but I could understand if you've had this figure that how you would not be happy with the reissue, but it gives me an opportunity to add something that, I wasn't going to go into the aftermarket and spend a bunch of money on a figure that I'm not quite sure would stand the test of time. Or I don't really know the quality that I'm going to receive from another collector in terms of flaking and in terms of tearing. So really happy that I get a chance at a brand new version of this. But how about you, Mark? What are you feeling?
This is the Batman I've been waiting for a long time. I grew up. I'm a little bit older than a lot of you guys. I remember being so excited for the McDonald's toys. For this movie, and then this was like 2 Christmases in a row when I was a kid. This is all I just wanted Batman. That was it. So this was always my Batman. I always loved the Tim Burton. It's always been my feel. Like the Dark Knight trilogy are better movies, but like to me aesthetically, like the Christian Bale, whatever reason it just doesn't click with me. It's always been the '89 Batman. So I have a bunch of '89 Batmans, but they're not. Like 6-inch figures and whatnot. So no, I'm super excited for this. I mean, I'm sorry John's upset, but this is like, to me, this reissue shouldn't bother anybody. And hopefully they update the paint a little bit on some stuff, But I'm definitely getting this. I haven't checked on the Batmobile price yet, because there's a lot of shit I got to pay for between now and then.
Yeah, we'll hit that price point up here in a second.
But man, did anybody else play the NES game?
Yeah.
I mean, shit. That shit had so much.
Right there.
I spent more on hydrogen peroxide to keep that game going as a kid than I did on the whole system. I mean, that fucking just the sound,
Mark, I want to challenge you on one thing you said though, in terms of like no one should be upset over this reissue. I think people have like a right to be upset by it. Like. If you bought this thinking that it was a limited collectible and that they wouldn't touch this franchise again, I could understand why you'd be upset. I think we've got a large enough sample size to now know that Hot Toys is going to reissue anything and everything that they can, because they're going to dip into this new pool of collectors that came in during the pandemic. So I don't want to invalidate people's feelings.
I don't want to mess with people that are young, but when you're old, you learn that time is fleeting. In 10 years, a lot of these figures, anybody that owns a figure from 10 years ago, a lot of shit's just starts to go bad with them. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. At this point, you just have to enjoy what you have while you have it. I mean, I understand the upset. Like somebody like John, I completely understand. I completely understand where he comes from. But there's a spectrum of collectors. I got into collecting. I collected toys. I never thought I'd pay $200 for a doll, and then all of a sudden I'm paying $800 for a statue. Then all of a sudden it's like something's like $1,100. You know what I mean? Not that Katrina would ever listen to this, but it's like the amount of money we pay. You have a right to bitch, but you also, like, you know what I mean? Like, I understand anybody bitching it. That's fine. But there's an argument either way. When you spend, that's hard-earned money. That when you pay mortgage payments on this stuff, you have a right to bitch. But I also have a right to my opinion. My opinion is this is a good reissue. The movie's coming out, you know, and if you're a huge fan, maybe you want to pick a second version up to put with your Batmobile. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I completely understand being like, especially if you're the person that bought this, but then somebody like John, he's never going to sell. So it's just, there's a spectrum of collecting. So
no, you're right, Mark. Yeah,
I'll listen to him, and it's funny because I completely understand what John's saying, but at the same time, you can't then just neglect, like, he's coming out in a movie. So what are you going to do? Just say he's not coming out, we can't issue the figure? You know what I mean? The thing is, they should have aged
so many more Keaton Batman, right?
They should have aged him a little bit. So then I understand that bitch process, but
this isn't a Flash Batman, it's the Batman.
Yeah, this is the '89 Batman.
Oh, we'll get that Flash Batman too.
Oh,
yeah,
we'll dip as many times as they can.
Let's not put the cart before the horse. Manny, you own the DX08 or DX09. Forgive me.
Yes, I do.
One of your all-time grails, a gift that Dean, myself, Marissa, and Seth got you many moons ago. Tell me, as someone that owns this, obviously we paid a premium for it back then, right? Much over retail. How does this affect you? What do you think about it? What do you think about this figure in terms of the quality? I lean on your expertise here, my friend.
I mean, I dig the new one because of the very subtle adjustments that they've made, like the cowl. It was never like really accurate. It was more stylized, and the cowl now has like it has more, I don't know how to say it. Like, it's more textured, and then it's also more full, because if you watch the '89 film, like, that suit is kind of rough, like, especially if you watch it in 4K. Like, it's very thick in parts, and this one right here, don't zoom in on me because my camera's crap, but I don't know, there was just something about the way that the actual cowl fit the mouth, and it looks like they've improved it. It's honestly shrink ray, if I'm being honest. I'm excited that the material is going to be, I think they said something along the lines of that they're going to make it more screen accurate or something, like the actual material. Because right now I'm touching this one and it's kind of like that sticky. It's not necessarily sticky, but it's like kind of sticky to the touch, if that makes sense.
Is that the figure or you?
Not necessarily sticky, but sticky to the touch. I think I got it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and it's probably me because a couple hours ago, never mind. No.
Wow.
And the body on this is kind of garbage because you can, like, bend his arm, and then it just, I guess the suit is pushing the body down. So hopefully that they improve that. Overall, I'm so excited. I was going to go with the deluxe version, but I think I'm just going to do the standard one, honestly. I don't need that big thing. I already have a big thing. I'm just kidding.
So I think it's very important also to mention this is not a reissue. This is what we would consider a remake. At least by my definition. I've always considered, the reissues when they don't make any changes. Obviously here they are adjusting some things. And I'm curious, I'll answer this question first. Marco brought it up. How we each feel, Mark as well, how we each feel about, the fact that they're touching this character again. Again, I wouldn't necessarily call it a reissue. For me, I think there was a comment, I'm trying to find it here. That this movie, here we go. This movie is too valuable to never be touched again. And I think Vintage said it best there. This is a phenomenon of a movie. Like this, like Sam says, this was such a huge deal in the culture when it came out. There was nothing like it ever. You're having a new generation of fans potentially being exposed to Keaton Batman through the Flash movie. They're eventually going to go back, if they haven't yet seen it, to revisit these fantastic films. And I know there's some comments as well. We don't hate Keaton Batman, at least I don't. He's not my favorite on-screen Batman, but I do enjoy the films, right? Love the films. Manny's a big part of getting me to really enjoy these films with his passion for this character in this films rather.
And Zach, and I think that's one thing you could appreciate from us is that we're not going to pretend like we're like huge fans of this. Like, oh, I'm so freaking excited. Like, we'll just tell you, like,
yeah,
no, it's not our Batman, but we're still excited about the film.
I mean, I am excited, right? Looking at that trailer, I was like, fuck, that's awesome. Now, of course, in a way, there are people that this is their definitive Batman, right? And they're going to pre-order this regardless. But if you like Michael Keaton and you're looking at this Batman and the lead time on some of these figures, I would 100% recommend waiting. See what Flashpoint or the Flash movie comes out. Maybe he does so much crazy shit in that film that you're like, damn, I need to. That may be the Batman that I want. For some people, that might be the '89 Batman. I think some of the improvements that they've made. I think one of the critical areas. I know John had mentioned it back when we had shown the early photos of this. Was the cape. I want to say that they've said that they're redesigning things, but even back then, I don't think it looked particularly great on that display. I think that's 100% an issue that they need to fix. But for those that haven't answered it yet, what do you feel about this as a remake, revisiting of the character? I personally, I think it's great. I don't, I buy my things to enjoy them. If I sell them down the line for more money, that's great. If I sell them down the line for what I paid for, that's great. Obviously, no one wants to take a loss on this kind of thing. But I'm curious, Zach,
can I stop you really quick? Sure. Just a little while ago, you said that maybe he does some crazy stuff in the Flash, and that'll make you want that version. And that is one of the things that when I watched the Batman, I was a fan of the way he, at the end, the way he like breaks through that glass and he's doing crazy stuff that you've never really seen Batman do, I guess, like you've never seen the '89 version do, because in the '89 movie and Batman Returns, he's very, he can barely move in the suit. There's no like CGI that's gonna make him do all this stuff. And then we get the Flash trailer, and you see him do everything that you only imagined, and it's just like, wow, like I cannot wait to watch that movie. And I don't know, I'm so excited to see Keaton back in it again.
Manny, kind of tearing off of that, this reissue just makes sense, right? Like Hot Toys does a bunch of shit that makes no sense. Like I think the Tactical Batman that they are going to do a reissue of, that one was just kind of like, oh, okay, I guess because of the Zack Snyder Justice League thing, but it didn't feel right. This is like, okay, they're capitalizing on the hype of the Flash film. A lot of folks are like, okay, like I like that new suit, which I'm sure we're going to talk about, and I'm sure we're going to get a version of, but I want that original one, right? I'm kind of in that camp. So like they're giving those folks an opportunity to get excited about a new film, but then also get the original figure. So it just makes a lot of sense. And the fact that they're also doing the Batmobile, it feels like it's thought through, unlike a few things that Hot Toys does every now and then. So I'm completely in favor of it because it just feels right to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna be greedy, and I'm gonna hope for a Joker reissue. I have the Mars Toys version, but if Hot Toys puts it up, 100%, 1000%, yes.
I'm a bit confused by John here. This figure should have been marketed as a Flash movie release, not 1989. And then he says, "How does this make sense? The suit is different in Flash." So I don't quite understand.
It's not branded as the Flash, though.
Yeah, John. Hopefully, we can get you on next Tuesday.
I don't know if he goes back in time. There could be a flashback, like he goes way back. I don't know, but
yeah. Dean, what do you think? I know that you don't typically sell your figures, so you don't have a lot of skin in the game on that regard. But Hot Toys revisiting a classic Batman, and obviously we'll talk about the Batmobile here in a second.
I think it kind of goes back to what you said, especially with Batman. You have a lot of new collectors. People now that have grown up with superhero films, when was the first Iron Man?
2010?
2006, I think.
It was a long time ago. I mean, and even before that, you had the Spider-Man movies. So, I mean, people our age have been growing up with Superman or superhero
2008,
movies,
2008.
and now you have people even younger that have grown up their entire lives with superhero movies every year. You know, and so it's like they're getting older, and then it's like, oh, okay, the new Flash movie, and they're like, wait, Michael Keaton was Batman, and they go back and watch it and fall in love with it all over again. That's gonna happen all the time, always. Younger people going backwards and finding love for these things, because if a movie's good, it doesn't matter how old it is, people are gonna love it. So you have a lot of people that are growing up, and now they have money because they're not kids anymore. It's like, I want this fucking Batman, and you know. It's not their fault that they didn't buy it when it first came out. They weren't even born yet. They were fucking little sperms, you know? So I think it's cool. I think it's nice that new collectors have a chance to get something. And I'm kind of with Mark and John. I understand it's frustrating, but like, it's like, of course they're going to revisit it. Like, it's one of the biggest movies ever, right? It'd be like, eventually one day they're gonna reissue a New Hope Luke Skywalker and Obi-Wan, and you know,
Yeah.
it's like it's gonna happen, like whether you like it or not, it's going to happen.
Dean,
Yeah.
10 maybe 10 years is probably a good enough time frame. You know, I mean, we saw the problem with the Mark V. It was like fucking 6 reissues one after the other. I was like, God damn, can you stop, please? But this one makes sense. This absolutely makes sense. And like Manny said, it's not a 1-for-1 reissue. It's retooled. It's got new stuff. I honestly wouldn't call it a reissue. I think it's just a 2.0.
Dean, to kind of piggyback on your, it's awesome to have other collectors get like the same thing. I think it's cool when like us in the chat, like when we get a figure and it like kind of makes the other person want to figure, like, oh, that's cool, and then that other person will go get it, and then you both have it, and that's just something that you guys share, and then it just you're looking at to see who else has posted on
100%.
Facebook, and it's like, oh, cool.
That's how I met Zach.
Yeah.
Because Rainer bought a 1/6 scale Boba Fett from him, and I was like, fuck, that's so cool. I've never seen anything like this. And Zach showed us his collection, and I had no idea what Hot Toys were, 1/6 scale figures were. I had no idea. And I was like, I want one of them.
Well, it's funny. Rewinding that just a bit, I think you had either gotten or were going to get a 1/6 scale Boba Fett. And that's how we first talked. And then we met in person. Yeah, we met in person after that, again, in relation to Boba Fett. Yeah. Nicolio says, this suit is on display in the Batcave in The Flash, so is the return suit and several new ones, but no, it should not be marketed as a Flash movie figure. Isn't this celebrating WB100? Let's move forward again. We got 90 people watching. Appreciate you guys being here tonight. There's some shots there for Hot Toys compared to the movie by K1 Master. Now, the Batmobile, this one's coming in at $715. Releasing in that same April to September 2024 timeframe. One notable exclusion from this version is the 92 movie, The Shell, the little plastic shell that goes over the Batmobile, is absent. There's been some interesting stuff today already about this. Some stuff that I don't love to see in regards to this. I'm not going to necessarily bring up any screenshots, but I know on the JazzInc private Facebook group, there was a lot of posts being made already criticizing this version, which again, that's fair play. But to see, Yoast and some of the other guys really like circling things and nitpicking things just seemed like, I mean, their competition, I get it. And you want to try to keep those that ordered with you, but can you imagine if every time we had a new competitor in podcasting or YouTubing, if we just started just criticizing everything this other guy was doing? It's like, just, you have your version, it is what it is. They have their version, and then collectors will decide which is better. And I do kind of want to get into that discussion a little bit because the price points on these are quite different.
I was gonna say, I bet the price point is very different too.
Yeah, $715 for this one. Probably plus another $80 in tax. You're looking at $800. Probably plus $50 to $100 to ship, so about $900. Versus the JazzInc one at $1,760 shipped. I don't think you pay tax on that, but you may have to pay value added tax afterwards. There are some more accuracies on the JazzInc ones. I would say probably the construction might be a little bit better on the Hot Toys one, in terms of like the durability. Just because they've been making these vehicles for a while, and I haven't really heard a lot of reports of the 89, this Batmobile having any major structural issues. One thing that I feel is maybe slightly disingenuous, is that they have the Batman in the Batmobile. Now this is supposedly a reissue. Now this is a true reissue right there. They haven't made any changes from what I understand. I've never, ever, 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 ever seen this Batman, which I guess, maybe they have some added articulation to make this possible. But with the original release, I've never seen anyone get the Batman inside the cockpit. So maybe there is some new articulation they've worked in, some split shoulder designs, Dean, as it were. But yeah, if it actually cannot do this, this would be incredibly misleading by Hot Toys.
Well, didn't Manny say they are retooling the suit?
They are retooling the suit, but and maybe it's
or you're
possible,
talking about like it can't even fit physically.
I don't know that you could bend it to like fit in with the original one. So unless they're doing some major retooling, I don't know.
I'm calling it right now. They're gonna do like what they did with the Hulkbuster and give you a bust of Batman,
that would be,
and he just fits in there.
That would be really neat.
Yep. I feel like they would have solicited that already, though.
Nah, they won't. They're nah. Trust me.
That's the ace up the
I like
sleeve,
your
maybe?
optimism, man.
Yeah. So the $15.99 for Jazz, and then on top of that, I think you have to add in. I think it's here. I have it pulled up here.
Well, you have to consider the putty also, so the trip to Hobby Lobby.
Jesus, Manny.
$260 for shipping, and then probably like an import tax or something.
Yeah, value added tax. Yeah. So let's take. I do want you guys to be able to speak on the Batmobile, but I did want to not forget the poll that we have running. So we'll put up a second poll for JazzInc versus Hot Toys. So 82% love it on Hot Toys revisiting the 89 Batman. 5% hate it. 13% don't care. So we'll put up another question for you guys and appreciate all the responses. Dean, 715, 89 Batmobile.
That's expensive. For what you get, it's probably pretty good, to be fair. The size of that thing. That is my second favorite Batmobile of all time.
Now
it's so iconic, dude. Like brilliant. My favorite Batmobile is from the animated series.
My man, Dean. Finally, there's one thing that we
BTAS, baby.
I love that Batmobile so much. But this one, I remember growing up like thinking it was so fucking cool.
That one's definitely inspired by this one, though, right? Like they're both kind of that Art Deco style.
Yeah. Very long nose, cool grill. Yeah.
The fucking flame that comes out the back, dude.
Yeah, I think this is really cool. Another one of those figures or accessories that just got crazy prices going for it. So I think it's cool to see. I was surprised when I saw Batman. I was like, oh shit, okay. And then I was pretty much floored when I saw them put up the Batmobile. I was like, God damn, that's badass, dude, that they're doing both. So I love to see it, just to be fair.
Yeah, so I'm with you, Dean. Like, okay, this isn't necessarily my favorite Batmobile, but absolutely do love the design. It's so iconic. In terms of the price point, right? I feel pretty good about that price point. Yes, it is expensive. Yes, I understand the limitations of this Batmobile. I've heard folks that own it, like, it's just a big hunk of plastic, basically, from what they've said, but it looks really nice. I think that's all you really need it to do is look nice. This is kind of reminding me of the DeLorean situation, though, where, Hot Toys came in at like a competitively priced version of the DeLorean. We know InArt's going to do one eventually, right? It's little more than a promise at this point, but we know that they keep teasing it. That's going to be significantly more expensive than the Hot Toys version, you would assume. And at that point in time, everyone's going to, criticize every little detail that Hot Toys got wrong. But I think at the end of the day, you got to decide, like, are you in it for the extreme premium version or just the moderately premium version? For me, I barely have space for these things as it is. So, I've just kind of come to the fact, or come to terms with the fact that I think the Hot Toys version is just kind of at that top of my price range. And I think it's good enough, and it's going to be the representation that I'd want next to a figure. And so, yeah, I'm very excited that they didn't just tease it, that they've given us kind of both of these pre-orders in the same day. I think that was super smart, because if they would have piecemealed it, probably would have given some folks like a little bit too much time to think about it. But the fact that they dropped them both at the same time, I'm like, okay, I'm out of space, but that's a problem for future me to worry about. Not to promote that, because it's kind of an irresponsible thing, but I just was really excited by these and really wanted both of them. Again, even though this is not necessarily my favorite Batman film, but I love the design, so definitely coming home.
So Sam says, by the way, these options and the competition between companies is what we all dreamed of. It's here. We should enjoy that aspect. 100%. I think, I've always said it, more choices for the consumer is fantastic, right? If you want, like Margot said, a good enough version that feels like it could be accurate to 1/6, I think it was Doc put up some, like one of the museums that owns one of the original props. And supposedly when you do the math, the Hot Toys is actually correct to that scale. Obviously, there's many versions of a vehicle made for filming, for different, different scenes, different functionalities. Perhaps one is more accurate to the scale that the JazzInc one is going for. But like Marco said, if you want something that's, maybe not, it is premium price point, but it's, a little bit more reasonable, you can go with this one. If you want something that's has a lot more accuracy, at a more premium price point, you have the JazzInc one. And I think for collectors that, up until a month ago, really only had the choice of paying a few grand on eBay, this is fantastic, right? You can get one at retail for Hot Toys. I want to say the original one was $630. Marco, do you mind if you could check the archives on the original Batmobile for me?
I got you.
Or if you want to pay a little bit more and get that more accurate version. Looking at this, obviously, I think there are many things Hot Toys could improve on, but again, you're also paying about half the price. So I think it's great that we have options. I think it's great that Hot Toys did preserve a small amount of the integrity of the original release. They left out that plastic shell. But I think for collectors, it's a golden age, right? We have competition for in art, by Hot Toys, by JazzInc. Collectors can pick and choose the ones that they like, the price points that they want to spend, and the level of accuracy that they want to pay for. Moose Dream is saying it's $620. So yeah, so not a terrible increase in price, about $90, which is still much less than the premium price point that you would be paying on eBay.
And I've seen $629.99 on the Sideshow archives there.
Okay. Checking in with the poll, we got 32 votes. Hot Toys 69%, JazzInc with a very respectable 31%. So definitely a lot of people that enjoy both, and I hope that both sets of collectors that purchase whichever version that they are happy with what they choose. And again, I can't state this enough, but having choices always much better than only having one choice. Mark, Manny, what do you guys think about this?
Real quick, the intake in front of the rear wheel well, doesn't that look really huge? Or is that just me?
This thing here in the front?
No, the back set of wheels. I guess it would be an intake.
Yeah.
Does that hole look really big? Or is that like a Valentine's Day sad kind of situation?
Well, we'll have to get back
to
you
it that
on
big
Mark.
Before? I don't remember it being that big. Other than that, no, I love it.
The price, right now.
The price range is very exciting to me. No, I am getting this. If it's $700, I'm getting it. I need to figure out how to get it shipped to me for $700 because
it
by the
looks
time
fairly
you get tax,
accurate, Mark.
Well, Sideshow, they shipped the DeLorean. I think it was $30. So it's not that expensive.
Shit. Well, Mark's getting it then. If I can get it for under $800 at my door, I am getting it. This is my Batman. For you late 30, anybody that's like 35 and over, this has to be your Batman. This is my Batman.
Does this have working LEDs?
Go
Because
and
in all
double
the
check
shots,
that.
it has lights.
I wonder if it's
Yeah.
going to be USB powered.
Dean, if you want to go ahead and check that on Sideshow.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything about it being
Does
USB
it
powered,
show
but
any
we're
of the
gonna do
because the cockpit has to pull back, right? The
Yeah,
shell
so
of
the
You got to
cockpit
pull the
pulls
cock
back.
back a little bit.
Yeah, pull the cock back. Does it show a cock back pull?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
show
you
him
can.
inside.
Yeah,
it.
there's all the details.
Yeah. Oh
there,
my
yeah.
god, yeah.
Jesus.
Oh hell yeah. No, I'm getting it. If I can get it shipped to my
uh,
house for under $800, let's go.
You get a cock pull for under $800.
So Obsession, it's the Batmobile. Supposedly, from what I've seen on the groups, this is a like a straight reissue. I don't think that they're making any changes from the past version, minus not having that plastic shell.
So I just have
And
to
I-
look
I
at
don't wanna-
reviews. Okay.
There you go. I don't want to promote false hope because I think there's a very small chance that this would happen. But with the DeLorean, we know that they've got some competition. So from the original solicitation to the final product, they did make some improvements. So I wouldn't be shocked if we saw some improvements, but definitely we shouldn't expect that. If you're going to pre-order, you should expect as is with all the fine details that are on there.
It says LED light up headlights, taillights, jet engine, and dashboard panel, power operated. That's all it says.
So one thing, if it is just AAA or AA, whatever, Equan says it's 3 AAA. You can buy on Amazon. They're called dummy batteries, and it's like one battery and then like a bunch of filler batteries, and it basically plugs into your wall and just provides a permanent source of power for whatever you're lighting. I don't know that would be the safest thing to do. I've done it on stuff and hadn't seen any negative issues, but I don't hear anyone yelling at me in October 2024 that their shit got nuked from that. But Manny, is this something that's tempting you? Is this on your radar?
Dude, I'm so tempted, but I have no room. If we get a house by next year or whenever this is released, I will definitely consider it. But it's gorgeous. I never got the original one because I'm not, a dummy. I'm not going to pay thousands of dollars for it. And for anyone out there who is like, I don't know, maybe who was on the fence of, I don't know whether to get the Hot Toys or the JazzInc one, I say just get the Hot Toys. No one's going to come to your house with the measuring tape and let me see if this is true 1/6 scale. It's save yourself a couple $100, get the Hot Toys. And again, if I have room for it next year, whenever this comes out, I'll definitely pick it up. This is exciting.
I did go to Zach's house with the measuring tape to make sure it was 3 inches, and to the
there you go. Well, it shrunk a little bit. It's 2 inches now.
It was cold. It was
a little cold. Yeah.
It was cold.
But really, legitimately, if we're being honest, you can get Batman and the Batmobile for around probably $1,100 shipped, and the JazzInc would be what, $1,900 just for the Batmobile.
Zach can 3D print the bust, right?
Yeah,
1760. Probably, honestly, maybe. Zach's Wonderland, baby. We'll see. I don't know if I want to paint it though. Let's move on here. So we have some great deals for you guys. We're not sponsored by these companies, but excuse me, if you want to, hang on. Aaron Grove says JazzInc has potentially an automatic opening cockpit and smoke coming out of the back with flame. Well, that would be, if that happens, that would be cool. But again, I want to say those type of upgrades depend on how many people order or keep.
I have flames coming out of my car, but it's because I need an oil change.
Wow. We do have some great deals from you guys from 1/6 Kit. You can save $10 off your purchase on 1/6 Kit using code CW10. That's a one-time use code. And then Off the Racks Collectibles, $15 off your $100 or more purchase with code CW. Just note, if you are using it on a pre-order, the discount only comes off the final payment, not the deposit. So Ben had this great idea for a discussion about the yo-yo waitlist. So his example was Chrome Mando had gone waitlist full and then came back to pre-order. Green Goblin and the Glider, same thing. Even statues that I've been looking at, the premium format Dark Knight Returns was on waitlist. It's now back up for pre-order. Do these yo-yo waitlists or threats of selling out soon or whatever, do they affect your pre-orders? And I've been in conversations with other people in other groups, and people will be like, hey, just a heads up, this is going out of stock, and I'll comment like, I don't believe it, get a bunch of laugh reacts. But I'm curious, do you guys really take stock in these announcements or these like blue screens and stuff? One thing that really fucking pissed me off, to be honest, going to 100 real quick, the Gandalf the White on Sideshow was on blue screen, which means it's technically like at that low stock threshold where you can only save it in your cart for a few minutes. It made me pre-order a second one. Not made me, but it kind of was like, damn, like I don't want to miss out on a second one. I pre-ordered it. When I checked it last, it was on pre-order open with no blue screen. I ended up canceling the order and getting my deposit back. But I would say in that sense, yeah, absolutely. The fact that it was at that low stock level made me do a pre-order, and I got bamboozled by it. It's back up to regular order status. Dean, what do we think here? I know you don't typically pre-order a lot.
Yeah, I don't really let that kind of stuff convince me to order unless it's like a third party, because those are usually much smaller numbers in terms of like the quantity that's out there. Because I've found, how long have we been collecting 6 Zach?
2017.
Yeah.
I only own 5 figures, but it's been 2017.
Yeah.
That's such a stupid. I've owned like 100 figures in 5 years. I just don't own 100 currently.
Yeah. I've found that if you really want something, you can find it. And maybe you'll pay a little more than like you're comfortable with, but like they're rarely ever really sold out on Sideshow. And it's like they'll go to like low stock and then they're like out of stock, and then like I don't know, like a month later I'll just be like, new stock alert, and it's like, okay, I guess. Like, so I've just found to just not get bamboozled by that kind of stuff. And there have been a few times where I haven't and I got screwed, but the amount of times that I haven't gotten screwed outweighs the number of times that I did. So I still don't really pre-order anything. What about you, Marco?
Yeah, it has changed my habits a little bit. Like, I wouldn't say significantly, but if there are figures that I know, like for sure I don't want to miss out on, it's kind of hard to parse out like what is true and like what, maybe like a bit of false scarcity either by Sideshow or Hot Toys. I'm still a bit unsure, but like for instance, the Batman figures and the Batmobile from today, it's like, okay, I'm just not certain where this market's going to be at in 2024. And I don't want to take any chances. So I'm going to pre-order. Again, I've said like multiple times on streams, if I can lock in, no sales tax, hopefully free shipping or pretty reduced shipping, then it's like, okay, I feel comfortable putting in a pre-order now, and just kind of seeing what happens. I'm still not convinced that there's not going to be significant discounts. Like for instance, on the Batmobile, when it comes out, it could end up being a Tumblr situation where we see it for 20% off because it's so big that folks are like, okay, it looks cool, but I don't know where I'm going to put it. And then, it's Hot Toys overproduces it. So I haven't ruled that out yet. That being said, again, I've changed my habits a bit because I don't want to miss out. If in fact these things are going to be more rare moving forward, it would be a bummer if there was something that I really wanted that I had to pay, a significant amount more to obtain. I'm having a hard time seeing that scenario is going to come true for most figures. But for certain ones, I'll just take the plunge and do it. But I would say definitely stay patient. Don't panic buy anything. Really make sure that you're only doing this for figures that are like at the absolute, top of your list, and everything else. I think just stay patient on, and we're probably going to continue to see deals. Still a lot of economic uncertainty. So who knows, by 2024, the world economy could be in the toilet, and a lot of folks may be out of the premium collectible game, or at least paused on it. So yeah, I think don't let it impact your spending too much.
Oh my God, someone please talk.
Oh, is it on me? Okay,
Jesus,
yeah. Now, I'm 100% with Marco. Like talking about pre-orders, the only couple of figures I have on pre-order right now, I think, is the Padme and the Scarlet Witch. Because I'm borderline perverted, but at the same time, it's like it's stuff you don't want to miss out on. It's when we're talking about pre-ordering, it's like stuff you have to have. So then, certain figures I'm always like willing to wait on, but at the same time, all that shit goes right back up. So it's just it's a business model that they're using to just make people fucking pre-order, which I refuse to do. But I have to have my Padme and I have to have my Scarlet Witch. Like the Batman, I have to have the Batman, but I'm not going to pre-order it. So Marco's right on that sense. It's just it's tough, man. It's a tough go when you're ordering something that's going to be arriving in a year and a half. You know, if that. And allocating funds.
Yeah, I agree with Dean because he said you'll always like be able to find it. Like if it sells out on Sideshow, you can go to Big Bad Toy Store and they might still have it.
Exactly.
Or walk into your local comic store and they'll have it. And for a discount, not a discount, but like maybe sometimes you don't have to pay tax or whatever. Free shipping. But I think you'll always get
I think that's what hurts me is there's no good local comic shops over here. Mm-hmm. Everywhere that I found that sells them at a crazy markup. So if I had that local connection, I think I'd be more willing to just okay,
dude,
they'll get me.
Anytime you need me, let me know. I'll go get it for you and I'll ship it to you.
Sounds good,
but
brother.
It's just I don't know, unless they've changed their business practices. Like maybe they did do something different where they only have like a certain amount coming. I don't know. It could be very possible. That's why if I really want it, I'll pre-order it. Like I'm probably gonna do the 89 probably tonight. But I have the Batman pre-ordered and just stuff that I really want. I think I also have C-3PO, the clone. What is that the little battle droid? That one I pre-ordered that one because I'm a dingus. Yeah. So if I really want it, I'll pre-order it. But I don't know. I kind of don't believe they're sold out. At least not now.
They'll be around for sure. And Zach, we had some listener comments on the Batman stuff, right?
I need to bring that back up. Sorry about that. Let's rewind back to Batman. Let me get these slides going again. So going back to Batman and the Batmobile, on Auxiliary this morning we asked for some listener feedback. Waz says, I think it's great for collectors. This was, of course, about them bringing it back. Waz says, I think it's great for collectors, especially since the figure itself isn't a complete re-release. I feel the improvements are enough to justify this release. I had the old version, and this one looks so much better, in my opinion. The Batmobile does, though, seem like a straight reissue. I don't collect figures anymore, but for the Batmobile, I'd get both figure and a vehicle. Terry says, as long as we get an older version from The Flash, I am good. Shane says, I'll give you a comment, Zach, if that is your real name. Just kidding. It's an obvious comment. This is a straight reissue, or is it a 2.0? JazzInc's is longer and apparently a true 1/6 scale, while this is 100 centimeters or less and not true 1/6 scale and has many inaccuracies. However, it is around the 750 mark, so my point is that either you can go cheaper and accept those inaccuracies or pay $1,500 for the more accurate version. Anthony says, I like this figure a lot. It looks pretty good. I know Hot Toys is going to wait for everyone to order this one, then announce a new version from the Flash movie. Ryan says, I have the 89 version, but I'll take another one with the Dio base. Pleased for people to get a chance to finally own this. Jimmy James says, definitely picking this up. I have the OG, but don't mind another one. Batmobile, I never picked up, so I'm planning to get this one. Also on YouTube, we put up a questions thing. So if you have any questions you want us to answer, I don't quite understand how that works, but you can leave us questions and we'll answer them, I guess, when we can. It's a new thing for us, so we're trying to figure that out. Going back to the yo-yo wait lists, I think you guys have all made great points. And Sam says, does anyone remember the last Hot Toys figure they missed out on? I don't think I've ever been on a wait list that converted. That didn't convert, or just went straight to sold out. And I'm curious what you guys, if you guys have that as well.
I think the last one was maybe, Director Krennic. I think he sold out before he actually was in stock, and then I was on Waitlist and ended up having to get him on the secondary market. But that's the only example that I can honestly remember.
Definitely. Anyone else? No. Okay, let's move on. So this was a thing that happened, and I wanted to ask. I know Dean, we've had many, many dramatic moments in our friendship.
Yeah.
So
all your fault.
Well, so this weekend, my PC was like, "Yo, I have critical updates I need to do, required critical updates." And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." Then it popped up when I was restarting the computer. I didn't really read it, like a dingus. And so it took a long time, like way longer than a normal update should take. And I was like, damn, that must have been pretty critical if it's taken this long. And I hopped back on my computer, and I was like, wow, everything looks so modern. Like, why does it look so weird? And I'm like messing around, and I'm like, oh no, I think I know what happened. And sure enough, Windows updated to Windows 11. And boy, it was terrible. So
that's good, right? That's a new one.
That's the new one, but it's fucking terrible. So immediately I'm like, fuck, how can I undo this? So fortunately, Windows has like a button that you can press or it reverts everything back to Windows 10. Thank God. But boy, it fucked my shit up bad. Like, basically from Saturday like at 8 to like Sunday at 10, one of my drives somehow got corrupted in the update / downgrade. So I lost a lot of data that was on there. All of like my shortcuts for like all the things that we do for the show, like the thumbnails or like the, I call them assets. All of those are God knows where, if not gone. I have to re-download them. Like OxPD just stopped working, the mod. My Steam couldn't even find the game. It was awful. And it was to that point where I was like, bro, I don't know if I want to like deal with doing all this shit again. And thankfully I had a lot of the data backed up, so I was able to restore it by like Sunday night. But I was up till like 4 a.m. just trying to like get this shit to work. And honestly, if we hadn't had stickers coming out with OxPD, that would have been a wrap. I was just like done with that show at this point. And not only that, but I mean, there's been times where I've wanted to quit, right? Like, just things come up or just these things that we have to overcome. But this weekend was the first time in a long time that I've ever wanted to quit something that we do. Not the main show, obviously. I've wanted to quit that once or twice, but boy, it was Ox Plays was about to end this weekend because that shit was fucking pissing me off. So fortunately, I've been able to, I think, find a way to prevent my computer from ever doing that again. But man, it was absolutely awful. Sam says, "Don't fuck with OxPD, Zach. On Break My Heart." Yeah, I think I got it working now. It's like 95%.
Hey,
I just need to kind of test it a little bit more.
Yo, Zach, if OxPD did die, I think I spoke with Sarge a month ago. He said he has his hands in many professions. So I don't know.
There you go. You love to hear it. You love to hear it. Well, fortunately, I don't think it's dead yet. I want to knock on wood though. But I booted it up. Everything seemed to work, but I haven't had a chance to really play it. Really test it out. But Dean, have you? I guess the question is TLDR. Have you ever wanted to quit content creating or quit a portion of the content that you create?
Yeah.
Tell me why.
Just I don't know. There's just been a few times where
Badfish, shout out to Badfish. Badfish talked me down. I was like, bro, I don't know. He's really good with Steam, so I put it in the Patreon chat. I was like, I need a Steam expert, and he was able to help me figure it out. So shout out to Badfish.
Also, what an angel! He's such a
what a guy. He's a good cowboy. Billy Badfish.
Billy Badfish
made me some bad fish one time.
Yeah, there have been a few times where Zach and I, we're kind of like the management of Collecting Weekly. And if someone has an issue, they come to us. And a lot of the times they don't like the resolution that we come up with. And it creates way more problems. And, you can't make everyone happy. And it's like, sometimes, that's what being, I don't want to sound like I'm tooting our horn, but like, that's what being a leader is making shitty decisions when, nobody else wants to.
Normally, if you can make everyone just a little unhappy, that's a win.
That's probably a win, because you just can't please everybody. And those people, come to you with a problem, but they don't really have a solution in mind either. They just want you to make it better. And you're like, this is what I could do. And a lot of times they don't like it. And it makes just dealing with everything such a fucking headache. And it's been a long time since we've had a situation like that. Yeah, it's been rough a few times. And even if it's like Zach said, between the two of us, it's gotten to that point. And, luckily we're friends first. And so we have that to fall back on. But when it comes to, running this channel, there's a lot of people on the channel that we met on the channel. And it's like, we're friends now, but that's, it's just a different relationship, I think. It's kind of hard to describe. But I think Zach knows exactly what I'm talking about.
One time that comes to mind, and Manny, you were there for it, and I know that you were probably frustrated also. So we have the Patreon slide, and there was a point where the 2 columns wasn't working. We're very fortunate. We had to go to 3 columns. And it was like, let's redesign this. Like, how do we want this to look? How do we want this to work? And I mean, it was like, I was asking, like, I need to figure out this problem. And everyone was like, let's figure out these other problems. And it's like, no, I just need to know, like, how do we go from 2 to 3 columns and keep it clean? I'm not talking about redesigning Patreon logos, redesigning everything. Like, that's all I need. And it was like 3 hours and eventually Manny was like, let me just do it. And, got us to where we are now. But it's like, fuck, like that's, eventually we got to the point where it's like, when there's graphic stuff, we just ask Manny. Manny's the guy.
Dude, there were some times where I had to jump in and be like, can you just answer his question? And if I'm jumping into the chat angry, someone fucked up. Because I'm the most chill individual on the planet, I think. And I let, a lot of shit slide. I'm a pretty jolly guy. Usually when people have a problem, they'll come to me instead of Zach because I'm a little nicer. Because, Zach does a lot of shit. He doesn't have time to fuck around. That's kind of what I'm here for, right?
It's like good cop, bad cop. I'm the
or like mom and dad. Like you go to dad.
I'm the bad cop here.
And by the way, we're not saying this to roast our peers on the network.
Let's start a roast.
It's a fun.
So
topic.
Rainer, I'm just kidding.
It's a fun.
It's
a fun topic because I was so beaten down by this.
Yeah, that's why I haven't named any names. But
yeah.
If I'm jumping in the chat to chastise someone over Zach, because I give Zach the most shit. Zach will ask a simple question or say something, and I immediately start making fun of him. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I feel really bad for Zach, and I let him get away with a lot of shit because I'm a dick to Zach. But like, if I have to come in to defend Zach, somebody is acting a fool. And there have been a few times where I'm just like, I'm done. Like, I don't even want to do this.
Yeah.
It's been a wild ride.
Marco, what about you? Have there been any moments?
Yeah. No, I think about quitting all the time, honestly. The reason why I got into like creating a podcast or being on YouTube was, just to talk with Gigi just about figures. And then, and here she is. Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh,
Gigi.
Happy Valentine's Day, Gigi.
Wow, I didn't know you'd be home yet. No.
Jesus Christ.
So, so very much like in a comedic way is how our channel is intended, right? Like I never like position myself to be an expert in anything because I'm still so new at all this. So I really enjoy being able to chat with you all and like learn from everyone. So that's really the position that I like to be at in the community. But if I ever feel like I'm not contributing anything positive or adding anything new to the conversation, that's what's exhausting to me because I'm like, oh, okay, you're just another voice, just another talking head at this point. You're not actually contributing anything helpful to the community. And so that's kind of what makes me want to hang it up. Like, because I enjoy watching the streams, honestly. Like, I enjoy watching the streams more than I enjoy being on them. And so, there's been just many times, and especially with Gigi being busy, where it's like, okay, maybe I'll just sit back and just watch and, participate through the chat. So definitely has crossed my mind many times. But then, a great figure drops and then you're reinvigorated and you want to chat with your friends about it. And it's like those streams where we have a lot of fun and we crack each other up. Then it's like, okay, this is why you do it. And it kind of gives you a new energy and a new lease on the streaming life. How about you, Mark?
Yeah, it's crazy because you don't respect the podcast, medium until you're kind of like into it a little bit, because life gets in the way big time. So the fact that Collecting Weekly is weekly, because I've watched a lot of podcasts that came and I was really excited for them. They were really good, and they just left. You know what I mean? Because it became too much. Life gets in the way. So for Collecting Weekly to be weekly for as long as it has, it's amazing. And I've tried to put my foot in the podcasting so much, and I'm like the bastard redheaded child. I feel like, it's like, oh, I feel like a charity every time I come on. Like right now, I'm on the big channel. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, look, they let the kid with the balloon in. You know what I mean? So, I fucking love it. But at the same time, it's hard. Life gets in the way. You know what I mean? I expected, me and the wife, I thought we were going to bump uglies, but, I had a chance to be on the big channel, so.
What a guy.
I gotta wait a day or two now. I guess. Mark. I don't know.
Sam says, I'm sure Zach does the majority of the work putting the show sheet together. That's what I always assumed. We all have a hand in the prep during the week. On Tuesdays, there'll be a point where I call it, and it's like, okay, we need to start assembling, we have to kind of start digesting the information that we have into something that resembles a show. Some weeks we do it better than others. And so
Zach's always real quick. Zach's always the grown up in the room in that situation. Zach does so much work behind the scenes that people don't see. There's always a lot more work than people don't see. So
how much is he paying both of you to put these comments out there?
A lot of money. There's a large PayPal payment hitting Mark's account. So, however, there will be times like today, Marco and Ben both did a lot of the pre-show prep for me, like helping me assemble and kind of make sense of a lot of information. So, yeah, it's not just a me thing. Dean and John have stepped in many times also. So, yeah, it's a group effort to basically take that week's worth of news and organize it and compile it and do all that stuff. Manny, you've been with us. Really since the beginning. Tell us, have there been times where you've wanted to quit what you do? You're our graphics guru, as we say.
No, not really. I mean, I think you have to check your ego at the door. Like, as soon as you hit live, like everything, keep it checked.
Say that one more time for Zach.
I didn't hear you.
Oh. No, I mean, honestly, like if you've been here, since Collecting Weekly started, if you're still like, maybe not every week, but if you're on here on a regular basis, it just shows that you have thick skin, because when you hit stop, like nobody is safe. And I'm a professional pot stirrer. Like if I see something going on, I'll jump in there and give my 2 cents, and then I'll jump out, and just everyone will be all crazy. And but yeah, I don't think I've ever wanted to quit. I mean, there's no I in team. Like when I'm designing something and you guys are like, well, can we have it like this? And I'm like, sure. Like, I mean, I'm not going to think of everything, so it's nice to have a team going where we have some cool stuff for OFAC, and, like nobody asked me to do that. I jumped in and I said, let me do it. So I'm pretty excited for you guys to see that. And yeah.
Have we not seen it? I'm excited.
I think you've seen it.
That'll probably be the probably
a couple
April.
months.
Yeah, April sticker.
Yeah.
So
it's exciting.
Vintage says, I really appreciate what you guys do. I listen to just about everything on the channel, and I know it takes a lot of energy. Also, Mark is killing me. Yeah, so I was just curious. I hit that low point, so I wanted to, we kind of come on here, and it's kind of like happy-go-lucky, but I wanted to bring in, like, hey, this shit can be stressful sometimes, and thank you guys for sharing your experiences.
And I will say, I was giving you shit, but yeah, the shows don't just come together by themselves. Like, it takes such an incredible amount of prep time that you do, and that like everyone contributes on, but you need that quarterback that really like cares to pull everything together. And yeah, that can definitely be stressful. I know from experience and from helping Zach every now and then.
Yeah. Thank you, by the way. You were a tremendous help tonight. So let's end our toy talk tonight on a high note. Unexpected gold, right? You perusing the shelves of Walmart, you're perusing BST, you find a figure, you buy it, you're not thinking much of it, and it just fucking blows you away. I almost wanted to call it like God, why do I keep in that button? Gateway figures, like you buy a figure and it gets you to like start looking into other figures. For me, the Metroid Samus by Jax, this is one of their new World of Nintendo figures. Such an amazing figure. Got me back into playing the games. Picked up Metroid Dread from a buddy. And now I'm looking at the Figma stuff, looking into the first 4 figures stuff. I mean, I'm in deep. And I'm curious, Marco, I know you said you had one off the top of your head, and Dean, I know you've had others recently. Have you guys had figures lately that are just like completely unexpectedly blow you away?
Yeah, so I can't think of any recent examples, but one that always is top of mind because I thought it looked cool when I saw the initial photos but didn't have a lot of hype, is that Punisher War Machine. Getting that in hand, it's just such a cool figure. Just everything from like the paint applications to like the weathering to just the design of it. I'm not very familiar with the property, the mobile game property, but I love that concept that the Punisher would have an Iron Man or War Machine armor. And that's honestly been one of like my favorite figures. Like it just looks so good when you have it like lit nicely, all the little silver and black bits like shine so perfectly. I guess it doesn't hurt that I'm a Raiders fan, so that silver and black is kind of where my heart is. I know. So yeah, so that's one that just like continuously stays at the top of like some of my favorite figures. Even when I get new stuff in, it's like, it's still one that's still legitimately great. How about you, Dean?
Yeah, there've been a few where I've gotten them and I've just been like, damn, this is a lot cooler than I thought it was going to be. Nothing that's kind of made me get into a line that I wasn't already kind of into, but 2 figures recently that surprised me the most. I thought I'd get them, they'd be cool, and I'd just have them in my collection because I wanted them in my collection. But the Clone Wars Ahsoka Tano and the Bo-Katan Hot Toys are arguably some of the best figures that I've gotten almost ever. They just have a really beautiful build quality and presence about them. They're just so good that I was like, oh shit, like I don't just like this, I love this. Like this is brilliant. But one figure that stands out, and I actually don't own it anymore.
Mom, I told someone that I loved them on Valentine's Day. Oh, who was it? Oh, it was one of my dolls.
Yeah, both girls.
Both gals. Yeah. 2 special gals in my life.
Yeah. One figure that really... Zach, I think you checked it out too, and you were like, oh yeah, this is cool. The Hot Toys Briarios from Appleseed. It was like nothing I've ever seen Hot Toys make before or since. It was just really good and well done, well executed. It wasn't on your typical 6-scale body. It was all complete unique sculpting because he's a really big guy. Yeah, it was just totally blew me away. But I'm one of those guys that I need both figure. Like I can't just have one figure from a thing. I need like a companion figure, and it just never came out. So I ended up selling that figure. But yeah, those are some in recent memory that really blew me away. I have Bo-Katan right here too. She's so good.
Damn, looks so good. I want it.
Dude, you
Anyone
got to get
else?
it. If you guys don't have Bo-Katan yet, get it.
For me, I don't know if this counts, but I kind of bought this on a whim, and I used the CW code on 16kit. It's the Muff Toys.
Whoa.
Muff Toys Batman accessory kit, the head sculpt. When I first got it, I mean, I still play with it till this day. Like, I cannot put this thing down. It took a figure that was a 5 at the best to a 20. It is amazing, and that like just makes me want more like Mafex and stuff. Like, because I think I prefer Mafex over Figuarts. But like, if you can get this accessory kit for like $70-$80, it's 100% worth it. It's for the McFarlane Batman. I love it. So that's mine.
Looks cool.
What about you, Mark?
Yeah, as much as I always hate on Marvel Legends because I think they're overpriced because they use too much resculpts kind of thing. But I picked up a bunch of the X-Men, the VHS tape, like the animated cartoon ones, and I totally dig it. I fell in love completely, and I bought all of them, and then I found out that they're canceling the line and they're gonna do the animated Spider-Man, so it's kind of heartbreaking. So I'm going back and I'm trying to get certain figures because this, like, a lot of those, it shows how much people love them because like the Psylocke is like $100 and some. You know what I mean? A lot of those kind of figures are like really expensive that they didn't really release. But I bought all of them, so I'm going back and I'm trying to get the best version of the animated X-Men I can, because they're getting ready to come out with them. Supposedly, Disney Plus is supposed to be coming out with an X-Men animated version that continues that line, and it's one of those things because I've always hated the Marvel Legends because a lot of the bodies, they have there's pins. It's like a lot of molded colors. A little bit overpriced. They have horrible Build-A-Figures, but that VHS ones I love, and I bought all of them recently, and then I just found out that they're not going to make any more. So it's a little heartbreaking.
You hate to see it. You hate to see it. Let's move on here. So the Flash, the new trailer dropped. Marco, I'll let you take us through some of these photos here, but lots of Hot Toys potential with some of these different characters that were announced. Obviously, we haven't seen the trailer yet. We're going to talk about it, so up to you guys if you guys want to stay or not. Appreciate you guys for being here up to this point. But what do we got here, Marco?
Yeah, so a lot of incredible shots from this trailer, like a film that was definitely in the air of if it would ever come out or not. And it seems like James Gunn and team are kind of tying this into the overall universe to like pay respects to what came from the Zack Snyder kind of universe to where they're going in the future. So a few really cool shots here of, it looks like a big battle against Zod, and you kind of see the Flash's suit and how it's stored in the ring. So really great Hot Toys potential there. If you want to go to the next slide, there's some additional Flash concepts there. So he's kind of got like this, yellow piping in there as well. But if you see at the bottom left, it's also kind of static. So I don't know, Hot Toys could do some really cool stuff here. I'm not sure if they'd be able to pull off, beyond maybe like a black light like they do with the Black Panther stuff. But a lot of like dynamic looks here for Flash. And then if you wouldn't mind going to the next slide here, they've got Ben Affleck's Batman coming back, at least for a beginning portion. And so we've got this blue and gray, which is obviously a classic look. Now, I don't necessarily love the sports bra look of the picture on the left.
That kind of threw me off. It's like, if you're wearing armor, why do you have so much holes in your armor? But man, seeing the blue and gray on screen, oh my God, that's exciting to me.
It's about time, yeah. And I know some folks are going to be upset that it's on Affleck's Batman, but that's one that I enjoy. So it's cool to have him back.
I mean, that'll be really easy to do a head cape swap on a different right?
Yeah. Well,
Like,
I mean, you
take
probably
a-
need the. Well,
Take a
You're saying-
BBS Batman and take the cape and cowl from this, if they release this figure and put it on that one, and then you have gray and blue.
yeah. In fact, I'd probably be prime for third-party companies also to just make that.
Also, we don't know if that's like the final look. Like, it could be something that he's wearing when he's riding the bike or something, and maybe those
that's
portions come off. But this
true,
this is badass. I can't wait for this.
Right.
Yeah, I like the look of it anyway.
And I will
I
also
always dig
say,
armor.
no doubt about it. And Tremble Dust is saying, a gun had nothing to do with the Flash. It was the old Warner Brothers regime. It's going to use it as a way to soft reboot the DCEU. I guess that's what I was alluding to. This is a film that's been in the can for a while that I'm sure that they've recut so that it kind of takes us in the direction of where the universe is headed now. So it seems, I mean, the concept is there. So we saw obviously Keaton's Batman with various, like, with a hull of armor here. Now, I don't know if Hot Toys would do this, but we've got, allusions to everything from a, year one proto suit to like his version of the desert suit that we see Ben Affleck in the nightmare sequence, or at least that's kind of what it jumps out as. So, if they gave us a hull of armor, this would be pretty cool. What do you guys think of this?
Yeah, dude, that the one on the far left, that's the 66 logo. That's pretty cool. And then right next to that one is his version of the blue and gray, which oh my god, I can't wait.
Imagine if they imagine that one on him. That'd
So
be incredible.
fucking excited. This shot is so cool. Shout out to Joel for sending us this photo here. Really appreciate that. Nito says sending a lot of love from the Grighton channel. Look at that. Thanks, buddy.
So if Ezra Miller
Jumbo.
wasn't Flash, would this movie be out already, or do you think
It's hard
there
to
was
say though, because
reshoots?
there's been so much like turmoil with the DCEU stuff. Even if Ezra Miller, even if they hadn't been in all this trouble, it still might have been shelved. So it just feels like the perfect film for them to kind of pluck off. From what we've heard, it seems to be like pretty well done. That's why they're continuing to keep it alive. And with all the time travel stuff, you could easily shoehorn in ending up in the the correct universe eventually, or having him stranded in a different universe. So you could do a lot of things with this. And if you wouldn't mind going to the next one, Zach.
Yeah, sorry. I guess we're being plugged by another channel here. Look at this.
What up?
Marco, I need your Espanol here, my friend.
We'll call Gigi in here. But this says,
Wow.
hello, dudes. Greetings from channel La Cueva de Griton. Okay.
Wow.
Gigi, come translate for us. But yeah, hey, congratulations for
let's-
this
yeah.
bombing here.
They're also live right now. What's
I'm
up, guys?
so confused. Let's look at. Hang on, I'm distracted now. So
Yeah,
this
they
is
got
this
100
guy here,
Oh my goodness.
and I guess I'm so confused.
I will
don't
say,
think
so
Man, I'm so sorry.
Wish I
I'm
did.
so white.
Oh, he's watching us right now.
I'll
What's up?
subscribe to your channel.
Let's watch
but
him
man, I
watching
am so
us.
white.
Yeah,
I
he's watching
need
us right now.
explanation.
So I will say that I've watched his interviews. So he'll do English and Spanish interviews, and I want to say that he had John from InArt on, and so I watched his full interview. Really, really cool, like dynamic guy. So
I
yeah,
kind of
everyone
feel
go check it
funny.
out.
You play our video, and we'll play your video, and we'll be in real time playing each other's videos.
Let's
Let me
go.
take off my headphones. I don't want to get
Wait,
brain
hang on.
damage.
From La Cueva de Griton.
Hey,
Welcome
I'm so confused.
to
I will say
Griton's Cave.
I'm so sorry. I'm so white.
Wow, it's like the multiverse. I
I'm
love
so
it.
sorry, I'm so white.
Let's watch
Don't
him.
worry, I'm so brown.
I love it.
I will say that
I love it. I love it.
Love it.
Oh,
How you doing, guys? How are
Here we-
you?
I've never heard of your channel, but I'm gonna ring the bell. There you
Yeah,
go.
I subscribed right now.
really, really cool.
Awesome.
Hold on, let's try to do the interview. Hello. And then wait.
No, the lag is
wait
bad,
for it.
dude.
I'm just kidding.
I love it. I love it. Have a great show. Have a great show, my friend.
Yeah, have a good show, guys.
I love
Jumbo.
it. Shout out to the Latins, brown people, baby.
Uno de ellos dijo que se
Yeah.
iba a quitar los audífonos porque
Oh,
no
man.
quería dañarse el cerebro.
That's so cool.
Es demasiado
Do you guys
potente
know
la
Don
cueva.
Francisco from
Demasiado
Sábado
potente la
Gigante?
cueva.
Wow.
Seems racial.
What about
No.
El Chacal?
This is like such a cool part of the hobby where you can connect with
There you
people
go.
from around
Have
the
a
world.
good show, buddy. That's
Hey.
fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Amazing.
That's so cool.
Wow.
Yeah, because the first comment popped up, and then another one, I was like,
And it was like,
Great
boom,
Dawn.
boom,
I
boom.
was like, I don't know what that is. I even sent it in the private chat. I was like, what is this? That's hilarious.
Oh, that's
I
fantastic.
subscribed. So
Here,
that's awesome.
let's link his channel and we'll sub to their channel, and if they sub to our channel, that would be fantastic. So go show them some love, guys. That would be really cool. We may need Gigi here shortly, Marco.
I think she
perhaps
put
to
in
send
the
a
chat
message.
with the.
Yeah.
Good thing Ben's
Oh,
not
here you
here.
go. She's coming over here.
Yeah, good thing Ben's not here. He would.
Everyone would have
Jesus Christ.
unsubscribed. Okay, Gigi, jump in there.
Oh, where's the thing?
Oh, here you go.
Here we
We're
go.
getting our official CW translator
go.
in
There
the
we go.
house.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like the cave of the screamer, essentially. And I did put it down there, so screw you for yelling.
There's
at
too
me.
many comments coming in. I wasn't yelling,
Yeah.
first of all, but
Gigi, can you give us some? Can you send a message to them for us?
Are they still here?
oh yeah, they're watching
Oh,
us
I don't
live
know.
on the. But
I think
anyway,
they.
send a message from our channel. En
Oh.
español.
Estos gringos no hablan español.
How dare you?
We're not even
Que
dare you?
lástima.
That wasn't the message. How do you say Jumbo Baby in Spanish?
I don't think jumbo. ¿Cómo se dice cuando le hacen así?
Se dice, yo quiero Taco Bell.
No.
Oh, come on,
Así se,
Manny.
así
How
se dice.
dare you? That's
Así se
racial.
dice.
I
Hombre.
know that is.
No, Dean. Dean
Anyways, thank you for watching our show. We appreciate it. We'll sub to you. You guys sub to us. We'll all have fun and talk about these toys. What a great collection. Hopefully we can have them on someday. That's really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, his
definitely.
background was
That'd be cool.
awesome.
Yeah, just
He's a really cool dude.
definitely unexpected, and it goes to show you never know when your show is gonna go on another guy's show.
Retrofan Ness said to teach you Spanish.
Hey,
So,
Taco
sí
Bell,
le-
there you go.
sí le- wow, es el español que
Jesus,
saben.
Manny.
Pero le trato de enseñar un poquito de español a Marco.
Can you go ahead and tell them? I'm just kidding.
Don't.
Jesus, Manny.
Holy cow, man.
So
Dude, I'm
let's
brown.
go
I
on
can
here.
say that.
Let's go on here. So more shots of Keaton Batman doing some crazy shit, which I love to see. Definitely. Do we have
How does everyone feel about this version of the suit? Because I miss the yellow belt on this, and so cool that Hot Toys has given us the opportunity to get that other original version and not have to
like
settle
it.
for this.
Okay, also,
Yeah.
really quick, there's an
Uh-oh.
Erika Flores, so finally another girl. Hi.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, I'm going to go now.
Look at this. You guys are great guys.
Bye.
You are great guys too. I love it.
Oh, I was about to ask Gigi a question.
Dean was about to ask you a question. She'll listen to it and she can respond
okay.
in the chat.
I was gonna say if she's gonna be letting you get in all these figures that could be released.
We will save it for the podcast. Honestly, we
Look
got
at
a
that.
lot
hell
of
yeah,
Look at their
okay.
channel right now. You'll love to see it.
He wanted to know if you were going to let me get the Batman figures. First of all, she doesn't let me get anything. I get what I want. I just have to pay a tax.
Okay. Yeah, this Batman figure, or this Batman suit rather, I do miss the yellow, the belt. Like
Yep.
it kind of needs that color separation. I don't hate it. I think it looks really cool, but it is kind of like an iconic Batman staple that's not there. It feels odd, but I don't hate it. Coming from a non-Batman guy, that's kind of saying something.
Yeah, that's actually big praise from you. I don't hate it is huge. And like you said, Zach, it's cool to see him do some dynamic stuff in this. So perhaps if Hot Toys is going to make this version, they'd make it a bit more flexible, something with a really dynamic cape, so you can do some crazy shit with it.
Absolutely. Also, so this has been this movie's been in production for a long time, because I remember seeing the photos of the behind the scenes of I don't know, Supergirl, I don't know what you call this character. She looks bad, bro. Bad AF.
Was it Kara Kent?
I'm here for it.
I think that's right. Yeah.
My pants feel a little funny.
No, well,
right now.
she's not a Kent. She's a yeah.
Oh,
I
because
don't
he's like,
recall
it's not Clark, and she's like, it's Kara.
Mhm.
So I figured Clark Kent, Kara Kent. Okay, so
I don't
she's
know.
not
I
Kent.
can't tell.
Wow.
Wow. Damn, dude.
I'll see myself out. Peace out.
But how good does this
Is
suit
Marissa
look, though, right?
pregnant,
Like, oh my!
Wow, got the
Is she?
dad jokes, dude.
Hey.
Find out. Yeah, there you go.
Another
Now I was
beer.
gonna say.
I'm just kidding.
Now you're
Right there
real
with
dad.
the.
But isn't this such a great iteration on the
I love
on the
it.
Superman from this universe, right?
Dude, I'm so
I
excited.
would buy the Hot Toys of this. This design
was-
looks awesome.
I was
So
looking
cool.
at her outfit,
Yeah,
and
me
like
too.
the way the cape is integrated is so fucking cool. I was like, damn, I've
That
never
red
seen
on
that
the
before.
fucking-
Well, like
on
the
the-
whole red piece is like sewn in, and then the cape like starts where the pit starts. If that makes sense.
All about
Almost
the
like it was like draped over and then like all stitched in except the cape. It's cool.
It's very cool.
I would
Yeah,
let her
this-
manhandle me. Literally unspeakable
She's
things.
so fine, bro.
Zod comes back, and it's funny. So, for a long time, Zod was kind of like a meme figure, right? Like I want to
Yeah.
say back in the day, Sideshow was.
Oh,
giving,
dude, I'm so
literally-
glad we're
literally
talking about this.
giving this away for free, and a lot of the Zod guys are posting this, and the people that don't have it are getting upset. It's like, guys, this figure was literally a joke figure for years. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, talking about bottom of the bargain bin figure.
I will say, because I'm a Star Wars fan, that I kind of get it with the prequels, right? Like the prequels weren't super great when they came out, but looking back on them, especially with the bullshit that we have now, pretty good. Prequels aren't, I mean, they still have major problems, but I could look back on them fondly and be like, that's cool. So I remember when this movie came out, it did okay. I don't think it was like fucking groundbreaking. I don't even think most people would consider it like one of the greatest superhero movies. So I feel like now they're looking back on it like, damn, we did have something pretty good. Now that they're fucking retconning everything and erasing timelines, and they're like, shit, Zod was pretty cool. But yeah, I think it's hilarious that nobody bought this fucking thing, and now it's like, I want Zod. It's like, where were you for the past 10 years?
Or the people kind of flaunting it, like, oh, I know the price is going to go up. I really dislike that. I know the price is going to go up on this DX19 that I have.
But they're not
like,
wrong,
okay.
because everybody starts freaking out, like, I need to have it. It's like,
Yes and no, though, but like, how much is it really going up? Anyways, I will say, so one cool thing about this scene here from the trailer, and like after seeing the new rock stars, so when in the original Man of Steel, Superman is there to meet Zod during this like potential scene here, and they kind of broker some peace, and then they go away, right, from what I recall. But because Superman isn't there, like shit goes crazy, and like you're seeing all the aftermath in a lot of the trailers. So I think that's a pretty cool take on like an alternate timeline, basically. And Zod looks so great right here. Come on, give us a 2.0 with this face shield.
Yeah, love to see it.
oh, I think they're going to have to do a 2.0. He looks like to be the main bad guy of the movie.
So there's other speculation, but I won't spoil anything. I will say, so the next two shots here, we know there are two versions of Flash at the very least.
That's the
So you
last
can
thing
see.
You be beating the hell out of people left and right, kidnapping them.
Goodness gracious, too soon.
That's the last thing we need.
But so the Flash on the left, and then in the previous one, it looks like they've taken a Batman suit from Keaton and kind of spray painted it red. So he's kind of got this hybrid of a Batman suit and a Flash suit, which could be an incredibly cool figure for folks that like it has that nostalgia aspect, and then also something kind of new.
Also, Loki makes zero sense. Isn't his suit specially made so it doesn't like catch fire and?
Well, we're
Flash
better
so
to
he
get
can run so fast.
we're better
Dean,
to get one of
this
those
is
suits than from a billionaire, right?
This is a made-up movie, though. It's kind of fake, my guy.
I know, but it's just
I'm
like
just
if
kidding.
you're gonna have
He can't really
rules,
travel
they
through
should
time,
follow
dude.
the rules.
Yeah.
There's
Oh wait,
not
he
really
can.
two of him.
He can't travel. Oh, I ain't watching it then. Screw that.
Yeah, I hate to
No,
say
I'm just
that.
saying if you set a thing, you should stick to it. That's
No, I
been
know.
a thing that he had to specially make his suit. Remember in the Snyder cut, he like burns through his shoes because he's going so fast.
I don't remember that.
I burnt through my shoes.
It's like
just
the
'cause I'm too
diner
heavy.
scene where he saves that girl from being hit by a car.
My shoes are walking by themselves already.
Or did I make that up?
That may have been made up. That might have been.
I think you made it up, Dean.
Let's.
I might have.
And just really quick, I will say Trumbull Dust says, yeah, I don't think they'll make another Ezra Hot Toys. If the film is successful enough, the free market will, anything's possible. I can guarantee it. If the film is really that popular, money will speak on this one. And it's kind of a shame. It's kind of grimy, but I'm just saying the reality of the situation.
Yeah.
Which is sad because this movie looks like it's gonna be fucking sweet.
It does. It looks so
Dude,
good.
Coming from someone who's not a huge DC fan, this movie looks like it's gonna be a banger. I honestly can't wait for it. This looks so good.
Let's put a pin in it here. I think we're going to skip hot seats tonight. We'll skip movie of the week tonight. That way we can have a full panel for both of those. Dean, can we say a shout out to the Pillars?
The Peelers. I love these guys. They're our Patreonies, and their names are Sean Fear, Ian Seaby, Renee Mendez, Eric Mariscal, Quinn Aguirre, King Louis, Mark Pearson, Paul Schreiber, James Colley, there's Kevin, Equan, Sweet Doctor, Chris Val, Serena Ben Thomas, Chris Letty, David Jones, Sam Gist, Daminator, Joao Bretta, Thomas Clark, Eric Switzer, Six Guns, Figs, Bad Fish, Sweet Danny Lee, Deanie Martin, Stephen Crett, Big Ol' Fern, King Zach, Caesar Marquin, Mark Phillips, Lisa Martin Bobanski, Rick DeGregorio, The Everyday Collector, Ricardo Valdez, Jose CZ, Erwin Azucena, The Illustrious Rainer, Aled Morgan, Tukothri Wa, Derek B, Arias Portillo, Mark Randolph, Jazz Carroll, Joe Ridley, Pablo Meza, Carlos Saavedra, D-Rock, Matt Clevenger, Seth Tucker, CC3PO, Scott Smith, Don Maton, Jimmy James, Stephen Purchett, Sean Usby, Scott Bradley, Steve and Maria Stanley, Eddie Manzanares, Louis Bennett, Chip Perrin, Jimmy Hernandez, Gigi the Judgmental, and Brenton Palmer. What a bunch of sweet angels.
Angels, the lot of them. For February, Patreon benefits, we have the Blockbuster membership card. Should be getting those printed this week. Should have everything sent out probably around the 20th. So stay tuned for that if you're in the $7.50 tier. March is the Papa Ox Collecting Weekly sticker. Both of these designed by Manny the Man Gonzalez. So big shout out there. These will be January, February will be sent together, and then March and April will be sent together as well. If you want to join the Patreon, starts at $5 a month for the digital tier, $7.50 for stickers sent straight to your door, $15 for the certified crispy certificate and figure fix assistance, or $25 for the deluxe pog set on your first pledge, and it doubles of all the stickers that we send. YouTube channel members, we have Mojo, Z78, Absolute Irwin, DK Avenger 702, OMFG Rick, S Beam, Andres IB, Daminator, Sam Gist, Thomas Clark, Benjamin Hansen, Chris V, Big O Fern, Cram, Victor Juarez, OG Fan, Mark Pearson, Ben Thomas, Paul Schreiber, Andrew Gibo, CC3PO, Carlito, CT603, Eddie Money Mendez, Sia Dreams, JCA B-Chan, Fat Batman, and Justin Sports Cards Museum. You can join the YouTube membership for 99 cents if you're a Patreon member, or $2.99 if you are not. You get loyalty badges, emojis, and member shoutouts. Taking a look at the network, we have After Dark tomorrow at 10:30. Thursday, we have Small Talk. Friday, we have Collectors Club, and Saturday is open. So we'll see what we can do there. Sam Gist says, never thought I would get another Blockbuster card. Yeah, there you go. They might not look as nice as the real ones with the barcode and everything on the back, but they will look pretty cool on the shelf or whatever. TeePublic, we have some stuff there. It's all on sale this week. I think it's like $13 a shirt, so be sure to pick those up if you'd like. And as far as the socials go, you can follow us on Facebook at Collecting Weekly, our Facebook group Collecting Weekly Auxiliary, Instagram at Collecting Weekly, at Collecting Weekly _clips, and at The Everyday Collector on Instagram. Shout out time. Shout out to you guys for being here. People that are on the panel, people that are in the chat. I know it's a special day for a lot of people, and I know there's some sacrifices we all had to make to be here tonight, so I appreciate that. Dean, you had your wonderful mother's birthday. Obviously, Marco, Mark, Manny, myself, we had our significant others, so they've all made sacrifices as well. But yeah, we had a great show tonight, great chat. Shout out to Ben Thomas, hit 1,000 subscribers. We'd love to see it. We've, kind of been with him on his journey from the beginning, so really proud to see him achieving that success. But yeah, any other shout outs you guys want to give?
Yeah, again, shout out to my mom. It was her birthday today. She's honestly the sweetest person on the planet.
Can't wait to meet her.
You've met my mom before.
But I want to have like have a meal, like really chat with your mom. Like she's such a wonderful person. I really want to, spend a nice amount of time.
All right, you calm down.
BoxCon 23 special guest.
Well, no, not like that. But I mean, like I've seen her in passing. Like we haven't really, because she's been a big supporter of us for ever since the first show. So I feel like I would like to express gratitude.
Shout out to Ben as well. Like you said, 1,000 subscribers. He got there fast. He got there real fast. He's a sweetheart and he deserves it.
He normally gets there fast, from what I hear. So
I don't think there's any coincidence. He talked about starting an OnlyFans, and then all of a sudden he had 1,000 subs. I don't know. It's a little fishy.
He was like 15 subs short by then, but it's a great talking point.
And shout out to Manny and Mark for stepping up to the plate tonight.
We were about to run Skeleton Crew today.
Yeah, so thank you guys. We love you.
Shout out to Dean's mom. Shout out to Ben Thomas. Shout out to Manny and Mark, as previously said. And shout out to anyone watching. Maybe you don't have a significant other just yet. I would just say, work on yourself. Love will find you. Love will find you when you're least expecting. I met Gigi at a really weird time in my life. And so I've spent many Valentine's days not having a significant other, and it's totally cool. So
yeah, I met Victoria at one of the lowest points of my life. One day, also, I got a message from this sweet man named Marco, who I thought was from Spain, and became one of my best friends. So you never know when love will find you.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Hold on, real quick. It's hard because you guys know me. It's hard for me to talk about serious stuff. I had a really hard week. I didn't want to talk about it, but my daughter was going through a lot of stuff, and she just through the complications of her, just growing up and being 12 years old. She got checked into a mental facility. I didn't talk to anybody about this. But I feel like I should bring it up. My daughter Olivia, man, God bless her. She's such a fucking sweetheart. And I'm hoping to get her out of there this weekend. But man, she's dealing with some like depression stuff. So when I tell people I had a hard week, it's 100% because of my daughter. There's nothing better in life than finding that. My wife, when I met Katrina, oh my God, I had so many terrible relationships before her. And a lot of the people at AuxCon met Katrina, and she's a fucking sweetheart, man. And she had 2 beautiful babies, and my daughters, they're a total blessing. So I'm sorry, I don't mean to get real deep real quick. I don't want to cry, but I'm hoping to have my daughter home this weekend. I put her in a fucking mental facility on Friday night because she was dealing with a lot of stuff, and so shout out to Olivia Pearson, man. She's a fucking sweetheart, and she's so fucking beautiful. Sorry,
Mark, we love you, brother.
Sorry
to hear
I know, I love you guys too. I didn't mean to bring that shit up, man.
No,
we're all friends.
That's what we're here for, man. If you need to talk about something, family. We got it.
And Mark, by you being transparent, I think it shows other folks, that we're all going through stuff, and totally. Mental health issues. Obviously, everyone is impacted by that. So, love you, man, and really hope that you're seeing a lot of better days after this. Couldn't have been an easy decision.
Totally.
Yeah, the chat's there with you too.
How about you, Manny?
Buddy. Jesus, dude. Read the room, bud.
I'm trying to ease the tension. I put the weight on Manny.
I know, Jesus.
I'll never forget that time where Dean was talking about my dead mother.
Wow!
No, that's not it. How dare you?
Oh my gosh!
How dare you?
Jesus, Dean. First this, then that.
It was first that, then this. Wow.
Well, Mark, we love you. Obviously,
I love you guys too.
Sometimes we do these things and in hopes that things get better. And
and you know what?
You got to do what's best for your kids.
The CW chat has really helped me through this week.
Yeah, 100%.
And I want to echo what Equan is saying here. If you need anything from any of us, give us a call. Honestly, we are all here for you, brother. Anything at all. If you just want to talk about stupid collectibles, happy to chat with you, brother.
I love you all.
We love you, Mark.
Just don't be like Dean and call us at 2 a.m. and don't say anything and keep us on the line for 20 minutes and wake up Ben and his fucking nut. All these things that happened. But no, in all seriousness, you know, as a parent, sometimes you have to do hard things, and you know, appreciate you being here. Obviously, it's Valentine's Day, and I'm sure that you know you had other plans, but we genuinely appreciate all of you guys being here, and we love everyone on the panel, love everyone in the chat. Love our new Latin friend and all his friends. So
yeah, I sub to them. I need to just brush up on my Spanish, obviously, because I don't understand anything.
Yeah, me neither. Well, Manny, do you have any shout outs you want to give before we cut this one off?
Just shout out to all the pairs. And that's it.
There you go. Manny, I have one more shout out that I would like to give.
Oh, God.
I love the poorly educated.